Hey, this is your girl, msyelladiva. I am bringing you another episode of the Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 11, Episode 10, in Invitation to Interrogation. Okay. If you are new here, welcome. Welcome. We do reviews here. This is the Diva Nation. And if you're returning, welcome back. All right now, give me a thumbs up. Like and share and comment and subscribe to my channel. And we will begin. First and foremost, Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. Okay. All right. Anyway, Martell and Chris meets up. Okay. Chris telling him about what Marceau said. Martell was like, "Well, did you go off on him?" He was like, "Nah, I did what I did. You know how I do. That's what I do." But Martell had the same reaction everybody else said. Like, well, why you got to, tell him stuff when y'all ain't in business together? Why he need to know? So he had the same stuff that he had the same sentiments as everybody else had. But then Martell was like, well, how many projects has he completed? Okay. How many projects has he completed? Okay. And so he said, I drove by Jordan Lane. It's only like 500 square feet. And he ain't even finished that. Okay. He ain't even finished that. So I don't know what's going on. But then Chris said that Prim and Prissy has a building. And it was like, yay. Yeah. So Martell was like, y'all got your hands full. So now you going to build a clothing store for Nell. And y'all got the daycare. Y'all got the kids. Y'all got the grandkids. Y'all got dad to take care of. And you trying to get this brokerage back. Y'all got your hands full. He said, what'd he say? Y'all gonna be, he said he gonna run you, Nell gonna run you ragged. And he was like, yeah, that's the truth. Okay. So Martell in a confessional, like he said, he spoke, Chris is supposed to open a boutique for men because he said, because he and we always dress to impress. I said, okay, Martell. So we come out clean and stuff. We always dress impressed. So, so he supposed to do, we supposed to get a boutique together. I'm making up. I don't even know, but he was gonna make a clothing boutique for men and stuff. So he said because him and we dress to impress. So fuck Marceau, Maurice, Ken, Will, Lance, every other male on the show. Chris and him dress to impress. Okay. So then Chris was like, he was talking about the rumor about Twan and Kayla dating. But Martell said, well, what's wrong with that? They grown. What's wrong with that? Then Chris was like, he divorced with 2 kids and one is a teenager. He was like, well, Martell was like, never mind. Never mind. Oh, my God. Oh, never mind. He said he should be dating somebody else with the same situation that he had. So he said he should be dating Destiny because she divorced with a kid. He should be dating Destiny. He shouldn't be dating Kayla because she ain't got no kids, and everything like that. So he said, never mind. All right, so Tricia and Sharon work out. She asked about the drag show. Tricia asked about drag show. Then they laugh about how Nell came back in and started eating when she was supposed to be taking Destiny home. She come back in and started eating. So, and then Ken and Tricia are back together momentarily because they're gonna be broken up again. So so whatever. So Nell, Destiny, and Martell go to lunch, dinner, whatever, some hibachi type, Korean barbecue type restaurant. Nell and Destiny was there first, and Nell invites Destiny to a family dinner over to their house. So then Martell comes. They said that Martell's button was hollering. Was suicidal. Anyway, they said that they toast to Destiny closing her house and to Martell closing his house, which Destiny didn't have time to do his house. Okay. And Chris lost his license and Destiny didn't have time, so he had to go with somebody else. Okay. Martell is telling Nell that she needs to give Chris more credit for what he does. Nell says, Chris is on my payroll, Nell. Okay, Chris is on my payroll. I give him as much credit as far as a paycheck, okay? And so Martell said, it's y'all payroll. It ain't just your payroll, it's y'all payroll. And Nell said, no, it's my payroll because I got the daycare and he got the brokerage, okay? Because it's my daycare and it's his brokerage. So he on my payroll, okay? I said, oh, shit, okay. And so Nell was like, yeah, but he put in some money. He saved my ass quite a few times and stuff, but it's still my daycare. So Martell was like, well, when he saved your ass, did he complain about it? She said, yup. I said, okay. Hold on. I am recording. I'll call you back. That's my niece and my grandbaby. So I'll call him back. Okay. So anyway, what was I say? Oh, so then Destiny. They talk about Destiny and Tisha and how they got into it, but Tisha. Then Nell was like, Tisha tried to walk up on Destiny, and she said, but Kimmy had to hold her back, but Tisha was trying to walk up on Destiny, and Destiny was like, she tried to walk up on me, but she knew, I'm Detroit Destiny, she said, then I walked by her to get out, so if she wanted to do something, she could do something, because I'm Detroit Destiny. I'm Detroit Destiny, foster care. We don't roll like that. You don't roll like that. I've been in foster care. We don't roll like that, okay? I'm Detroit Destiny, okay? So if she wanted to do something, she could have did something, even though Kimmy trying to hold her back. If she wanted to do something, she could have did something. But she ain't do nothing because I'm Detroit Destiny. Okay? I'm Detroit. Foster care. Okay? So, but she said, because I told her husband don't take up for her. She said, I've taken up for Tisha way more than Marceau has. And she said, and then Tisha and Marceau gonna call me a hoe. And she was like, she was like, nobody can say that they had some a piece of me. Nobody. Okay. Except for her ex-husband. Okay. So Destiny said, Martell, you was the start of it. She said, because how you went off of them on field day. And so Martell was like, why? He said, well, I went off on him, but I ain't know I was going to go off on him. I didn't even know what I was going to say, because apparently, Tisha was like, telling Destiny that you should have told me that Martell was gonna go off on me. And Destiny was like, I didn't know he was gonna go off on you. So she said, Destiny was like, and I do defend Tisha because people say she's stupid, and I told them that she's not. And Martell was like, people say she a dodo bird. No, a dodo bat. What the hell is a dodo bat? What the hell is a fucking dodo bat? What the hell is a dodo bat? Okay. What the hell is that? Anyway, the Fletcher's having this family dinner, all right? And so Twan show up, Destiny show up, Kayla show up in the same outfit it seemed like that she had on last episode, okay? So, and then Nell just started laughing. It was like cringy laughing. She kept laughing. And they was like, what are you laughing at? What you laughing at? I was like, girl, what are you laughing at? It was cringy. It was cringy. Like, like she knows something that everybody else don't know and she just laughing, Nell, that wasn't a good scene. I didn't like none of that. I didn't like none of that. Anyway, so they start to eat. Destiny, Chris, and Nell are in the living room with TV trays. Destiny ain't eating, but they eating in the living room. And I guess, everybody else is in the kitchen. But they eating in the living room. And Chris is trying to drill Destiny on what her and Twan got going on. But Destiny shut them all the way down. Okay. Like, we don't have nothing going on. If he dating Kayla, I don't care. That's not my business. Okay. I don't care what he do, because we not dating like that. Okay. That she shut them all the way down. Meanwhile, Twan is in the kitchen shutting everybody down about him and Kayla and him and Destiny, okay? So then Kayla was like, Destiny bumped into me. I don't know why she bumped into me. She looked back like, so everybody thinking Destiny got a problem with Kayla, okay? That don't make no damn sense. So, before Twan leaves, okay, Chris got to take him in the back, okay? Take him and ask him about his intentions with his baby daughter, okay? His baby girl. What's his intentions, okay? So Chris was like, when I heard that the rumor about you dating Kayla, I was blindsided. He said, y'all, nobody told anything to me about y'all dating. You should have came to me man to man. Okay? You should have came to him man to man. Twan was like, well, I didn't know how to approach you. Hey, Chris, me and Kayla are having casual. Then he paused. Okay. Casual. 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 Can I put Okay. Casual. Then he paused and he said casual dating times. Okay. Okay. Casual dating times, okay? Okay. Listen, the scene would have been over for me. When he paused, casual, okay. The scene, I'd have been like, cut. What the fuck you mean casual? You better cut that whole thing. We're gonna do this again. Okay, we're gonna do this again. Okay, cause I'm about to bust your ass. I'm about to put my foot in your ass. Talking about casual. Casual what, motherfucker? Casual what? Casual sex. Casual oral sex. Casual. What kind of casual what? Okay. He sure did pause. I said, It couldn't have been me. It couldn't have been me. Because I'd have punched him dead in his face. I punched him dead in his face. Anyway, so Chris is very calm, cool, and collected. I'd lost my motherfucking mind on that shit. Okay. Twan would have been late for work after he go to the hospital. He would have been late to work. Okay. Anyway, Chris was like, I'm trying to figure out what's chilling. I'm trying to figure that out. Because apparently he said we just chilling. And he was like, what's chilling? Just trying to figure it out. And then he was like, well, we vibe. We both Aquariuses. But we both single and stuff. You didn't answer the question, Twan. You didn't answer the question. Okay. Okay, we vibe. We both Aquariuses, and we both like having casual sex. Is that you need to say that? You need to say that, honey, because what you said was some bullshit. Okay, what you said was some bullshit. Okay, what you said was some bullshit. Okay. But then he gonna say, I don't want to hurt nobody. Well, shit, you done hurt shit, Chris, right now, shit. Okay, for you dating his daughter, undercover and not coming to him man to man. You hurt his feelings already. But he was like, well, I'm glad that you don't want to hurt nobody, Twan. You done fucked the shit out of Kayla. Okay, you done fucked her, and you don't want to admit it, cause you too grown for this shit. You too grown for this shit. And you need to get it with a woman, just like Martell said. You need to get with a woman that is at your same spot in life. Got some kids. Well, definitely got a kid and a divorce. You don't need to mess with this 20-year-old. I don't know how old she was, 21, 22, 23, early 20s. I'll tell you that. Okay, you don't need to be fucking around with her. Anyway, Kayla comes in the living room and asks Destiny why she bumped her. Destiny was like, I don't even remember bumping you. And she was just like, but she was like, don't you ever think that I have a problem with you. And then she leave. Okay. They hug and she leave. Then Lance said that I've known Twan for a long time, but now we have a different type of friendship because he fucked his sister, basically. We know he fucked her. Okay, so he dated his sister, so now he got a different friendship than what he had before. Um, but that was the end of that scene. So Destiny and Nell meet up for lunch, dinner, whatever. Destiny is upset. She feels like, they brought her in like an ambush to ask her what's your intentions, with Twan, and you got a problem with Kayla, da 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 da. So she was just like, y'all had a bunch of questions, and Kayla said I bumped her and stuff like that. She felt like it was an interrogation. She felt like it was an ambush and an interrogation. Nell denies that that wasn't the plan for them to interrogate her. That wasn't that wasn't their intentions, basically. Destiny said that's inconsiderate, y'all. That's definitely inconsiderate. Then Nell was like, "Well, I'm not gonna repeat myself again. I can't be repeating myself again." And I'm like, Destiny, I ain't asked you to repeat yourself. Okay, I ain't asked you to repeat yourself. So that's what Destiny said, and I concur. She ain't asked her to repeat herself unless they cut that shit out. So Nell said, well, if you got there and you didn't like it, you could have left. Okay. That would be very rude. And you would have been talking about her like a dog if she'd have came and she would have just left because she ain't like it. Okay? You would have been talking about her like a dog. But instead, she sat there, listened to your arguments and stuff, and listened to your questions, and listening to somebody who is basically accusing her of bumping her. Okay, so accusations, she listened to all of that. She counteracted all those interrogations and accusations, and she left. But she came to you in private to tell you how she felt about that. And Nell, you are immature in your answers, in your approach to this. Okay, you are very immature. I ain't gonna keep repeating myself. I ain't gonna repeat. You could have just said, Destiny, I apologize. I apologize for making you feel like we were accusing you and things like that. That is the grown-up thing to say, Nell. Okay, that's the grown-up thing to say. You apologize for making her feel that way, because it was rude how y'all was in there, you and Chris in the living room talking about, what you doing, what you do, what you and Twan doing, and da 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 da. You grown. That you are not their child. Why are they interrogating you? So yeah, I'm with you, Destiny. I'd have been pissed off too. I'm not your child. Don't be interrogating me. And anyway, we don't have no dealings. He guard my body every now and then. That's it. That's all we doing. What's going on? I don't understand the problem. Anyway, whatever the case may be, Nell said, if you felt that way, you could have left, and Destiny left. Okay, she walked out of the restaurant. Okay, and they said to be continued. Okay, but Nell, you wrong. I'm just letting you know. Okay, you wrong. You too old for this bullshit. You and Chris, you too old for this shit. But that was it. That was the end of the episode. Okay, so give me a thumbs up. Like and share and comment and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Peace, y'all.